All right, cool. I think we're live here. We should be getting warmed up right now. I'm not sure if everything's feeding through, so I will give it a second here. While everyone's waiting, I'm going to encourage the folks out there to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. You can also find all the different ways to support us over there on hankstrange.com. We appreciate that. Also, if you want to support the podcast and the other stuff that we're doing around here, you can find us on Patreon/HankStrange. That's how you do it. I believe that we're rolling through here. I am going to drop the open right now. And
welcome back to the Hank Strange situation.
All right, so make sure you
Lifestyles
guys
of Lock
subscribe,
and Loaded.
thumbs up, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. We are live. We have a new guest, Jeremy. Jeremy, we do jazz hands around here. So that's how we do. Come on, let's see the jazz hands. Mike, MW Tactical, you know you got to do jazz hands. Let's see it, man. Okay, he's doing jazz pinkies, jazz pinkies. We are live. I hope you got your big girl panties on. Shout out to everyone joining us right now. This is episode 511 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I'm coming to you live from Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Mike from MW Tactical, you're in South Carolina. Columbia, boom, there you go. Jeremy of Dropzone Gunner, where are you? Are you in Florida?
Yeah, we're in Tampa, Florida, my man.
Tampa, boom.
Yep.
We got somebody from Tampa here that's not Babyface P. Oh, no. How many tattoos do you have, Jeremy?
Just one.
Oh, okay. I knew it. Somehow I knew it. All right. All right. We are live. And like I just said, we have Jeremy of Dropzone Gunner. He's here to introduce himself to all you guys, as well as we have Mike from MW Tactical joining us. And the show's brought to us all here by Walther. Shout out to the folks from Walther. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got some like new Walther swag right there. Built for life from Walther. So shout out for Walther. Supporting the podcast and, taking up care of us here so that we could do and say whatever we got to. Let's see. I'm going to go in. I'm going to start here with Mike from MW Tactical. What's up with you, man? How you doing?
Too much. I'm living the life, living the dream, and I got some new swag myself.
Oh, yeah. What is it? What is this on your blazon? Blazon?
Yes.
I see there's
Yes.
like an accent on it, so how's it supposed to be pronounced?
I guess it's pronounced blazon, but for me, being from the area I'm from in life, I just say just blazing.
Oh.
Just blaze, the DJ.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and the same people. So this company right here is here in the Columbia area in Gaston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that owns this company, he actually does jiu-jitsu. So,
cool.
And he also did this hat. So
Okay.
I posted 2 hats that they did for me on my Instagram and Facebook the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody want to check out the stuff that they're doing, if you go to Instagram and just put @WeAreBlazing,
Mm-hmm.
you can see what they're about.
Very cool. I'm digging the hat, man. I'm digging the hat. Very nice.
I got these for you for 20. I got another one that has munitions, weapons, tactical with the Velcro strap on the back for 25.
Okay, cool. How do people get these things?
You got to email me on that one. I have no
Okay.
link for them yet.
What's your email?
info@m-wtactical.com.
Okay, awesome. There you go. And Jeremy, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna give you an opportunity here to introduce the folks to your company. It's called Dropzone Gunner.
Correct.
Okay, so we're gonna get into that here in a second. Before I do all of that, I do want to remind everyone to smash the thumbs ups out there. Okay, we appreciate that. Ring the bell to be notified every time we go live. That's how you get to be notified that the party is kicking into effect here. So now there's a couple things I need to remember to do here. One of those things is that for a long time, Mr. Holster, I don't know if you folks out there know about Mr. Holster. He was always here in the chat. He has a YouTube channel. He actually passed away, unfortunately, a couple days ago. Yeah, he had cancer. Very sad. I just realized that today, even though I think it happened like 2 days ago. I just saw that on Facebook. So there is a GoFundMe to help out his family with the expenses, etc. If you guys, it's in the description of this video. I did put it here in the chat. Let me see if I could throw it up in the chat once again. So if you guys can, go over there and donate some money on that GoFundMe to help out the family of Scott, Mr. Holster. We never got a chance to get him here on the show, which is too bad, but he was always here in the chat, hanging out with folks, commenting, etc. It seemed like, he did enjoy the show. So rest in peace. It's tough, man. We're losing people. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old and recognizing it more, but it seems like, we're losing people out there. So there goes. If anyone comes in and they need to find out any info about that GoFundMe for Mr. Holster or to help out Mrs. Holster, the rest of the family there, it's in the description. All right, so Daniel God is my judge says RIP to the sunny slopes of yesterday. So there you go. And then Rodney Brady says, I avoid Tampa. I almost got robbed by 2 chicks I met in Ybor City in 2005. You're not the only one. that's what I'm gonna... Obviously, Rodney Brady knows Tampa well.
I'm not commenting on that, okay?
Yeah. Isn't Tampa the strip club capital of America?
There's a lot of them, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, they are. Don't ask me how I know that. It's, just purely...
Lord have mercy. Here we go.
Research purposes out here. All right, Jeremy, give us the rundown really quick here, who you are, what Dropzone Gunner is exactly.
Okay, cool. So Dropzone Gunner is basically a mud run obstacle course with firearms in the middle of it.
Okay.
The firearms are all staged. We've got fantastic sponsors lined up this year. We've got Daniel Defense, Diamondback, Head Down, Rock River, local Tampa company Mutiny Arms, 9 Line Apparel, Hyperion Munitions is supplying the ammo for the whole event. It's pretty cool, man. There's really not anything else out there like it. It's a really fun, festive atmosphere. It's tough, don't get me wrong, but I'm really trying to build something different for the industry. There's a lot of events out there for competitive shooters. There's not a whole lot of events out there that are bigger and active and fun in nature that are literally made for anybody. Okay. And that's where my passion is with this, right? Is I was running we started Grizzly Targets like 8 years ago. Okay. Oh, okay. And I was like, we got to make a splash here somehow, And I went to some shooting competitions and stuff, and I was like, there's really not anybody here watching anything, besides the people who are shooting. All the shooters are showing up with their own firearms already, so the sponsors aren't getting a whole lot of play when they're sponsoring these things. Everybody's basically already all sponsored up and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and it's not very active either, So I just tried to come up with something that was different, something that was kind of mass market, separate us a little bit. And that's how that whole thing came about. If everybody that's listening today, you can go to dropzonegunner.com for more information on all of this. We'll just do a quick plug here, right? It's $99 to run it, includes everything. You don't have to bring anything with you. And if you just want to come and check it out, it's only $20 to come and check it out. People say, well, why do I pay $20 to come check it out? Because we got like 15 grand worth of rifles and pistols that we're raffling off on top of all of this over the course of 2 days. Okay. So I got a little bit of something in there for everybody. It's a fun event. It's made to be different. And, it's tough. Don't get me wrong. It is not easy at all putting on events like this. But the main thing is the people that participate, do they really like it? And they all do. So we just got to keep going with it and see where this thing leads in a little while.
Okay, so it looks like this event is taking place at Aries Firearms Training, right?
Yep.
Okay. Which, we have Trey from Aries Firearms here on from time to time.
Trey's awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's a good dude. I'm not sure. Are you going to be the first event going on there since they opened up?
They've had, I probably might be the first bigger one going on since they got reopened.
Okay.
I think, they've got some classes going on and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it should be the first bigger one there, I think,
Okay.
since they've reopened. So, and I just want to give a shout out right now to Trey and Julie, who run Aries. They do a phenomenal job with that. It comes from the mindset of the person running the range.
Mm-hmm.
And Trey is a fair guy. I couldn't be happier with how everything's gone so far. So,
yeah, I mean, we see them as family here, so
right.
We've gone down there, we've done some events. I know Mike hasn't done that yet, but okay. So this event, what was the date again? Just give us the date one more time.
It's March 14th and 15th.
14th.
You pick one of the 2 days. Show up. Like I said, you don't have to bring anything. Try to get there around 7:30 at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to kick off by 9. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it, man. It's a hell of a time. It's a lot of fun. It's a completely different crowd than what you're used to seeing at your traditional shooting events and whatnot. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's really different.
Okay, and so are there prizes? What exactly?
Yep. So I got rifles for the top 5 guys. Okay, top 5 guys are all getting a rifle. Got a handful of guys that have come on board as well, supporting sponsors.
Okay.
Nine Line Apparel is kicking us a bunch of the T-shirts again, so everybody that comes is going to get, and the runs is going to get a T-shirt as well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably have for 5 through 10 for finishers. We'll have some cool prizes for them. It ain't going to be a rifle, okay?
But the top 5 people are getting a rifle? Is that what you're saying?
Top 5 people are getting a rifle, and I got about, probably around $15K worth of rifles and pistols, including your boys over there at Walther. They donated a pistol.
Oh, cool.
Cool. That we're raffling off over the course of 2 days too. So
Do you know what pistol that is off the top of
God, off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
It's on, I can tell you right now, it's on the site. I'd have to look at it though to give you the specifics on it.
Just checking to see if it's like a Q5 match or something.
Yeah. Shout out to Cody over there. He's the one that set that up. He's solid, man. So
yeah. Shout out to Cody as well. And I believe Vance, we had Vance on also. We've had
Cool.
Cody on the show. We had Vince. Sorry, Vince. Yeah. All right, cool. So there's rifles. What kind of rifles can people?
So the top 5 that are winning are to get, like I said, all the firearms are staged, right? And that's when people hear this, they go, "Oh my God, it's an obstacle course mud run with a bunch of guns," and it kind of freaks them out a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the way that we found a way to get a lot of people through that is to make sure they're all staged, right? So let me see here, just so I can get into the specifics. I'll bring it all up there.
Yeah, how are you gonna? I mean, I guess. Well, there is a lot of mud over there. It can be made muddy over at Aries.
Oh, it can be made muddy.
And there is a little bit of cow poop, but that's good for the skin. Yeah. Yeah, adds to the flavor of the mud.
So, for example, right, you got stage 1, okay? Rock River is in stage 1. They gave us their the A4 pistol there, their 9mm pistol, carbine rifle thing there, right? Mm-hmm. So when you go up in there, imagine there's 5 benches. Mm-hmm. Each bench has that same identical item on it.
Oh, okay.
And if you've got to hit that steel target over there, let's say it's just for this one, it's 8 times. If you got to hit that steel target down there, you only got 8 rounds in the magazine. Mm-hmm. All right, shoot until you're empty. It's ready to go. We got range officers at each one of them. Mm-hmm. You pick it up, pop the safety, go to town, set it down, get back on the obstacle course. Go over obstacles, yada yada. Go through a few. Stage 2.
Okay. Did we lose him here? Everyone looks frozen, or is that me?
Way that A, we can run a lot of people through it.
Okay.
B, make it really safe, and then C, the sponsors are going to get a lot of good content and a lot of good feedback out of everybody that's there then. Mm-hmm. When I was running the marketing with Grizzly, when we first got going with that, I was getting hit up for a lot of events and stuff, and a lot of it was kind of like, write us a really big check. We'll hang up a couple of banners, and we'll put your logo on the site type thing. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way for sponsors to get more value out of an event. Because like I said, in your traditional shooting competition, everybody that's going there is already sponsored up for the most part, right?
Right.
So
okay. So is it
see
going
what,
to be?
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes it more interactive, makes it more fun. So
Right.
is it only professional shooters that are showing up there, or anyone who comes in? Is there? I think you said there was a $20 entry fee, right?
No, $20 if you just want to watch. It's $99 to run the course.
Oh, okay, $99
includes,
to run the
includes your
course.
ammo, includes everything. The last
Okay.
one we did, I would say maybe 10% of them were competitive shooters, and that's it. You know, we get a lot of
Okay.
military, a lot of law enforcement, a lot of CrossFit guys, a lot of OCR, obstacle course racing guys, and then it's the other 50%. It's just like guys, and I would say at the last one, the ratio was probably 35-65 guys to girls.
Okay. Okay.
And I would say, but 50% of the whole group in total is just people that are like, this is awesome. I want to go do this. And from the looks of it, anybody is able to do this. Like, I can't tell you how many people are like, God, I've always wanted an event like this, right? So, again, that's what I made this for.
Okay.
Is we have a very significant portion of the firearms market that doesn't have a whole lot to go do in terms of going out and shooting in terms of bigger competitive type things, right? So I wanted to make it for something like that. And then keep in mind too, with the last one that we just did, I don't know how many, but it was a nice chunk. We'll just say 5, maybe 10% of the people that showed up, they never shot a gun before. And they were like, God, I was really scared of them beforehand, but I'm not anymore. For me, that is the really, really important aspect of this, okay, is because none of us are fans of what's going on with guns in general in the media and things like that, right? And you've got to put things together out there that have a brand that will bring people in, right? Like, it's at some point you've got to start making an effort to create things that will bring in those people, and actually show them. You know what I mean? So that's what this is. It's a festive environment. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of different types of people. Top 5 finishers, yeah, get a rifle, but it's just meant to be fun. You know, this isn't an event where it's meant to be like, let's see who's the baddest SOB on the planet. You know, no holds barred. I tell everybody, like, listen, do not hurt yourself out here. Going over, there's nothing here worth hurting yourself over. Okay, have a good time. Meet a lot of cool people. It's an experience you're never going to forget.
Okay, awesome.
And that's what I'm trying to do with it, right? The mission is bigger than just the event. The mission is about providing something for the firearms community that we can scale out nationally, that will bring in a lot of different types of people, and start widening that pool instead of constantly playing retreat and defense, you know? So.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it. It sounds like a fun event. Let me see. So, Mike, I know this is kind of your wheelhouse. You're a competitive shooter type of guy. I don't know if you have any questions here.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions in
Okay,
regards
awesome.
to it. So, by joining this or signing up to do this competition, is it one of those you start off in a group and it's ongoing, or is it stage by stage?
So it's ongoing, right? And that was kind of that was a tricky part to figure out. Most of the things that you go to, it's kind of, okay, we're going to go over here. Our group's going to run through it. Then we're going to go over here to this, and then our group will run through that and look at the scores and all that. You run 5 at a time. You're scored individually. But when you go, you go. And that was why we had to do 5 shooting stations at each stage, because the last thing you want when you're getting timed, you know, there's like, if there's one bench and there's a line of 2 guys in front of you, they can't get out of their own way to save their lives. And you're like, well, my time's a ticket, right? So that's kind of the mindset of how we did it and how we can push a lot of people through, you know, because events are expensive to pull off. And this is an expensive event to put together. So if you can't push a lot of people through, you know, I think it's cool and I got a big mission, but it would be nice to make a couple of bucks eventually with these, right? So.
Right. So Special K says he just followed Dropzone Gunner on IG.
Cool.
I'll pull that up for folks while you guys are talking about this. Is there anywhere else that people can go to follow you or find out more about this?
Yeah, go to the event page on the Facebook page. Okay, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Dropzone Gunner. You'll see the event there. If you want to just show you're interested or whatever, that's great. But like the page, like the Instagram page, and I think what we'll probably do for your listeners here too, once I get off of here, is we'll make some kind of a little coupon code for you or something. We'll do Strange 10 for 10% off.
Okay.
If you want to buy a ticket for it or something like that,
Okay.
Maybe we can do a couple of giveaways once we get done when you get to the reposting on social or something like that too. So.
Hey, what date is this taking place?
It's March 14th and 15th.
March 14th and 15th. All right.
Yeah.
So, is it a 2-day event, or say like if I was to sign up for it, is it just a 1-day run for me, or is it?
Correct. So the last couple of them I've done, I've put them on just 1 day in order to get this thing to the point where it's financially feasible and I can actually do something with it. It's got to be hosted for 2 days because your overhead doesn't double just because you're going from 1 day to another, but your ticket sales double, right? So in order for me to get my margins where they really need to be for it to be a legitimate thing that I can scale out and go places with, I've got to be able to put it on for at least 2 days. We're going to try to do, if anybody out here is listening, is involved in media in some capacity, firearms industry, fitness industry, whatever industry, and you want to kind of check it out, we're going to try to do on the second half of Friday, kind of like a media run day. Okay. So if anybody out there hears that, kind of keep that in mind. And keep in mind too, guys, my email is info@dropzonegunner.com, or you can just message me on the Facebook page and stuff to reach out. If you got questions, everybody always has a lot of questions with this. It's a new event. Educating the marketplace is always one of your toughest things when you're bringing something new to the market. So,
yeah.
All right. So now, what about if signing up for this event? It's a 2-day event, but I come on Saturday, but I have to leave, and if I was in the top 5, by me not being there, do I get waived over or?
No. So basically, we tally up all the scores at the end of the day. What we did for the last one, because some of the people just weren't there at the end. Some people do with the prize tables. If you ain't there, you're not getting your prize. If somebody can't legitimately make it for day 2 and they ran in day 1, I have no problem just reaching out to them via email. Hey man, you won it. Here's the contact. Go take care of your FFL and stuff and do your thing. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Lola's throwing up stuff there. I did go to the Facebook, and while you guys are on Facebook checking it out, you need to go to hankstrange.com. We got our Facebook deleted, so it's Hank with the capital H, hankstrange.com, all spelled out. That's the new .com there, and then also go to Dropzone Gunner and smash the likes right there. In terms of Instagram, what's the name of it on Instagram?
Dropzone Team.
Dropzone Team. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to hit that one up too.
Okay, cool. And so I'm going here so I can show you guys that, and I'm following them so you guys could go through there and follow these guys as well to find out more stuff about it. Okay, so you're saying, are you the owner of Grizzly Targets? Okay.
No. Grizzly? No.
Oh, okay.
So we started it about 8 years ago, and it's anytime you're trying to build a company, it's very tough, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people realize how tough it is. But Grizzly had a few ups and downs and whatnot, and then I actually got the opportunity to get a hold of it, and I got partnered up with a fantastic partner. His name's Brooks Watkins. Okay. He's a sole owner of it now, and we got everything tightened up with it, and they're doing fantastic right now. If anybody has anything Steel Target needs, I don't know if you have a sponsor on the show yet.
I don't. I mean, I have a range and I need some steel, so I don't know.
There you go. But yeah, no, Grizzly's a phenomenal company. We've put a lot of time and effort over the years into developing some good target systems and things like that. They're a great company. I highly suggest it's just grizzlytargets.com. Go over there. Mm-hmm. Website looks phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's a good company, and they're right here in Tampa. So
okay, yeah, I'll check that out, man. Okay, we do have some questions. Special K wants to know: is everyone going to be on the same level, or will there be a beginner and pro level stages? And I'm sure Mike has some other questions.
Yeah, so a lot of people want me to split it up into classes and stuff like that and groups, and the, the event just simply isn't there yet, where we can get into those kind of logistics of things. And I'm not sure I want to go there with it either. I kind of like the idea of everybody just, this is what it is, right? Yeah, if you're not the greatest, that's cool, because again, it's not so much where am I placing in this thing. It's about showing up and having a really good time, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe down the road, that's something we could explore or do some special events or something like that. I've got a couple of them for next year that we're going to try to get off the ground that are going to be pretty legit. I don't want to say anything about it right now, but that's tough because you're adding a lot of logistical work to it then. You're sectioning things off, and to a certain extent, I just like the idea of like everybody runs together. Guys, girls, you're a great shot. Maybe you're in horrible shape.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't let that intimidate me if you guys are out there.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't let that intimidate you. That they might, some badass shooter like Mike might show up there. It's easy what you do. You just trip him when he's walking around. You trip him. That's it.
Hey, no complaints, but I'm not bragging.
And that's kind of the cool thing about the event too, is that you do run in waves of 5. So if you got 4 buddies that want to sign up with you, or let's say it's like it's you, your girl, one of her girlfriends, and then 2 of your friends. Yeah, you're getting timed individually, but maybe you're not hell bent on just finishing the thing. So you could actually help them over some obstacles and have some fun with it. It's kind of it's got that cool team building element to it as well. So
yeah,
so,
go ahead.
How far is the course from beginning to end mile range?
It's going to be probably, I'd say, right around a half a mile. Half a mile, maybe 2/3. It's not a super long course. It's not a 5K. It's meant to kind of be like when you go to Busch Gardens, right, or Disney or whatever. You've got the roller coaster in the middle, and then you got a bunch of cool little things on the sides to kind of do type thing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with it. And I didn't want something that was going to be, hey, I have to put it on. It ranges, okay? And sometimes they have access to a ton of land way out there and whatnot, but a lot of times when they have access to that land, it's actually behind the berms and stuff, and we really try to avoid things like that, right? So, half a mile, 2/3 of a mile, even a full mile, that's a good race for somebody. That's it's gonna wear you out, but it's not, to the point where you're worn out in the first 10 minutes and now you're walking for the last, 2 hours to get to the finish line, right?
Okay.
So are you carrying your own equipment and ammo? I'm taking it.
Nope, nobody's running with any guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
all the guns are staged.
Yeah, station to station. The guns and the ammo is there. That's what the $99 covers, right?
Yep.
And then those are the guns that are being given away to the top 5 people, basically, right?
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So now, is it more like the endurance of push-ups, pull-ups, trekking through mud, low crawling under barbed wire, swimming, all that?
Yeah, so we've got all that, right? Wooden walls that you got to scale. When we built all the obstacles for this 2 years ago, the way that I did it is think of like basically steel towers almost that are about 13 to 14, 15 feet tall, triangles, right? And the way that I made it was that they're all interchangeable. So you can do logs up one side and then logs down the other. You can do a net up and then logs down, rope up and net down, net and net, up one side, down the other. There's a lot, they're all interchangeable, but those are kind of like our signature obstacles for it. And I got to tell you, man, we got 9 of them. And then you throw all those walls in and then you push people down into the mud. And then, so here's the thing. In terms of scoring for the event, for the shooting element of it, every miss is 30-second penalty, which is high. Okay, that's very high for competitive shooting and whatnot. The shooting is made to be kept fairly simple though. Okay, so that's why that penalty is high. If you can't do an obstacle, basically we just do what they do in other obstacle course circuits, which is we just punish you physically. We might make you run at that obstacle with some sandbags back and forth a little bit. and that's going to wear out your time, and it's going to wear you out physically a little bit. But everybody can do the punishment stuff, right? So again, if you're not a great shot and you're like, man, I'm not, that's fine, because the guns are waiting for you. You have a range officer waiting for you right there if you need them, okay? And if you're like, man, I don't know, I'm not in the greatest shape. Well, if you can't do a couple of the obstacles, well, you might just have to do some of that other basic stuff, but at least you can keep going through it, you know?
Yeah. If you're big enough, you could just knock the whole thing down, man. Just
I mean,
walk over it.
Possibly. They're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
They're solid steel, right? So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Special K says, need an event with guys who have some tactical fat. Hey, this is to help you burn some of that tactical fat. That's the thing. Schmitz and Giggles says, I just threw MW Tactical under the bus, win by default. Yep, that's my plan. I cheat. If I was involved in it, I would cheat. That's always my go-to plan. But it does sound like a fun event. And Len Holt says, yeah, the bottom 5 could be in the running too. I don't know. I don't think that's how it works. But there's a raffle. You guys have a raffle going on, though, right? Yeah.
So the raffle is there, because, again, when you have in typical shooting competitions, there's really not a whole lot to keep everybody else interested, right? Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to build out the festival aspect of it with this one. We're doing a pretty decent job with it. I've got some guys that are going to be teaching, doing some self-defense stuff, things like that. The guys from Hyperion are going to be bringing a lot of their equipment and stuff to the event and showing you guys how they make ammo, things like that. Trying to make it so that if you're not running, you've still got a lot of cool stuff to do. I believe that Daniel Defense is bringing their new bolt action rifle that they just came out with, so you can go out back and test that out and play around with that a little bit. We'll have another little demo area to one of the other sides where a lot of people can check out some of the other stuff from the manufacturers and things like that. You got to give people something to do when they're not competing if you want to build something that's mass market, right? When we talk in our industry, and I know this from both sides, I know from people pitching me on events, and I know obviously from me pitching people on events. Number one thing everybody says is, well, how many people are competing, right? And that's our standard, that's our gold standard that we go on. And I never thought that made a lot of sense. I mean, due to the way things kind of are, but I always said, you go to a basketball game, there's 10 people competing, 22 if you take both whole teams into account. And there's 20,000 people in the stands, right? Right. The same thing with football, same thing with a lot of things, right? So how do we build something where people will actually want to be there to watch it? Right? And that's kind of where my goal is with this is, create something that's fun, that's interactive, that you're going to go and shoot it and you're going to go have fun, but you want to bring the fam with you because they're going to have some cool stuff to do too. And it's a unique experience type thing. So
yeah. And knowing Aries as I do, I'm sure there'll be food trucks and stuff like that out there. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Flying Rich wants to know if I'm going to compete. I'm not even sure I'm going to be there. I'm definitely starting out here helping Jeremy promote it. I don't even know what my schedule is going to be or whether or not I'm going to be there. But like I said, if I was competing, I would just cheat and carpet bomb all you guys and then just take all the guns and go home anyway. So, but Flying Rich, you could definitely go. Jeremy, are people allowed to compete in flip-flops out there?
No, you have to have at least sneakers on. Yeah.
Oh, Flying Rich won't be able to do it then. He only goes to the range in flip-flops. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. I don't know if you have any. Shout out to Is Your Six Covered? See him out there. Shout out to Clover Tack that was out there earlier. I don't know if David Cardinal. He says he's home from the hospital. If there's anyone who I'm missing, just let me know, and I'll definitely give you guys shout-outs. Mike, do you have any other questions here?
The rifles, are they scope or iron sight?
They're mostly going to be all iron sights. I'm talking with a couple companies right now. We'll see where that goes, but either way, kind of the cool thing about this is that everybody's on an even playing field anyways. Right. So, and that's something that some of the guys really like. Again, I did get, some feedback from the pro shooting crowd when I first started rolling this out. It's basically, well, if I can't bring my $3,000 rifle with $87,000 worth of gadgets on it, then I don't want to play, right?
Okay, more fun for everyone else then.
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, that's cool, man. You got a lot of stuff to choose from out there, but I just had a feeling that there was a space in the market, even for the pro shooters that are like, okay, so that's cool. So it's cool, it's different. As far as the firearms go, I get to go shoot all these different things that I've heard about. Maybe never even got a chance to shoot them before.
Yeah. How far out are your targets?
So pistol's got to be 25 yards. Rifle's got to be at least 100 because we're shooting steel, right? And that's industry standards as far as that. So we'll keep it right around there.
Okay. All right. That's not. I mean, iron sights.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
No.
100 yards. That ain't.
No.
Yeah, you can do that with
Yeah,
iron
if you're
sights.
breathing heavy, that's going to be a possible shot. Yeah.
That is the kicker right there, okay? And I've kept it really simple, but I got to tell you, when you start going through this and you're getting worn out.
So you're shooting from standing, prone, the bench. What's happening there?
Most of it's bench.
Okay.
I think we'll probably have at least one prone station, maybe a little bit of a combo at one of the stations. I don't like to get into that too much, but I think we found a way that we could actually do that and keep the movement minimum, if you will. But to a large extent, it's bench shooting. The ROs are there waiting for you. I color code everybody when they run too, in order to keep things a little more streamlined. So, and let's say in stage 1, you got 5 benches. There's Rock Rivers, those 9mm pistol rifles there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ROs are right there. And then let's say that you're, runner 79 and you're colored orange. Well, each one of the benches has one of those 5 colors. And the reason I did that was to just help clarify where people are supposed to go. And then the ROs, because orange over here, I want people running into each other and, it's just to kind of help clarify things. Now, if you do, for whatever reason, find yourself getting doubled up, there is never a scenario where all 5 benches are taken at the same time. It doesn't happen. I stagger everybody out far enough to prevent that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. Sounds good. Johnny Kamikaze had a question which I think you answered before. Well, you answered it already, but we'll try to get to it again.
Yeah.
What are the guns and what are the shooting stations like, and what kind of guns can you win?
Okay, so we're just going to literally read them off here, all right? Stage 1, Rock River Arms, 7-inch A4 pistol. All right. Stage 2, we are looking at Diamondbacks, Deep B, PPFB4 pistol. Okay. Stage 3, Head Down Firearms, HD15 patrol rifle. Stage 5, the guys from Mutiny Arms came in with their 9mm carbine. And then, stage 4. And then stage 5 is the Daniel Defense rifle, the MV-V7. I can't keep all this stuff straight, so I literally have to just read it all off. And keep in mind too, this is not easy, like I said, to put these things together. There is a lot going on, so to a certain extent, when I'm trying to do this, as long as I've got a good mix and it works, like, I'm thrilled. I mean, I can't explain to you how happy I am that these sponsors have stepped up. They have faith in me. A nice handful of them are very interested in possibly taking this to their hometowns next year. That was the original plan I had for scaling out, and that, I want to be able to go and put these on in their hometowns, because I think that would be a really cool, like, homecoming feel for it as well, and just kind of add to that whole festive nature and help them in the promotional aspect of it as well, right? So I'm really grateful that everybody has stepped up, that everybody supported me to the point that they have. But as far when, especially right now, when you're a month out for a monster event like that, like, it's balls to the wall. It is balls to the wall. It's little sleep. It's scrambling. Things happen even when you got help, right? People are like, oh, you need more help. Well, then you're managing people that are helping you. And lo and behold, humans can be difficult sometimes, as shocking as that may seem, right? So when you're at this stage of the game right now, I mean, it's all out. Let's go. Let's get the rest of these things sold out. Let's get everything there. And then let's do our best to get due to the fact that this is a different type of an event, let's do our best to get some different mainstream press coverage on this thing, right? So.
Yeah. So there's still some questions. Opt Out of Gun Control says, did he just say Rock River? Did you say Rock River? Yeah.
Correct.
Rock River Arms. Yes, that's right.
Yep. Big shout out to Chuck and Sarah. They're awesome. Chuck's a big CrossFit guy. He's pretty excited about this.
Okay, I'm sure there's going to be some protests there from some people, but we'll hear what they have to say.
You know, I'm not sure if I'm quite big enough to start getting the protesters, but when you start getting protesters, I think that's a really good sign.
Well, I'm not talking about anti-gun people. I think some gun people have some issues, I think, with Rock River. Okay.
Here's the thing that I learned a long, long time ago. When you're trying to do anything like this, you're never going to make everybody happy. Okay? And to a certain extent, you know, I get messages that are like, oh, well, I would be there if it wasn't for that company, or I'd be there, but I heard this guy's going to be there and I don't like him and all that. And you just kind of do the best you can with it. You know, I mean, there's always a lot of people that have a lot of opinions on things. There's always two sides to every story. There's things that I'm not even aware of, you know? Like, well, this is what we got going on.
Yeah.
See you next year, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Special K wants to know, is this event only going to be held in Florida? You're not doing it just this one time, right?
No. So this is the third one that we're putting on. And the goal is to create, you know, start perfecting the tour model after we're done with this. Like I said, I've got a decent amount of interest from one side of the country to the other. Now keep in mind, everybody's always interested, right? Now, whether, you know, you can pull it off or not is a whole nother story. But first things first, let's get through this one. Make sure it runs smooth. Make sure everybody has a great time. As long as you do those two things, everything tends to take care of itself, right? And this is a long-term play for me. You know, this isn't something I want to just do it and say that I did it and cool, you know, let's go to the next thing. I mean, I think everybody needs a signature event. This is my marketing company's signature event. I like to do wild and crazy shit. This fits in perfectly with what we like, right? So,
understood. Go ahead.
I see this like CrossFit, because CrossFit competition started out pretty much the same way, and look at how it advanced to where it is today. And it's on an international platform right now. Correct. And you never know where things are going to lead. You know, and you want to have a long-term strategy for things, because you have to understand how to grow and what's important in order to grow. But at the same time, you've got to stay grounded in the moment enough, you know, to make sure that you're taking care of what's right in front of you. And that's one of the things that I've kind of learned over the years, is that, you know, it's great to have these big ideas and it's great to have this vision and all that, but you've really got to make sure you're taking taking care of the details of where you're at as well, because not doing that will ultimately affect your ability to get there. And it's kind of just that right brain versus left brain struggle that we all always have, you know, and the creativity versus the practicality type thing. So,
yeah.
Well, one thing we got to do within the shooting sport community is figure out a way to make it entertaining for people to sit there and watch it. Because if you're not really into it, after watching 5 people shoot, it's pretty much the same thing over and over. You know, from a spectator's point that doesn't understand the shooting realm.
It is, and you know, we can do a few things for that. You're never going to be able to create something that, like, you know, a lot of people, like, I got a lot of friends that don't like to watch basketball, and they're like, how do you watch these guys go back and forth on the court? Each guy, how can you score 100 points and still lose, right? They just don't get it, right? That's just not for them. So, but there's definitely things we can do to make things more spectator friendly within the event circuit in the industry. You know, I'm obviously pretty slammed right now, but if anybody listening, my marketing company is Startup Street. And I think this summer is going to be year 19 since I've taken a paycheck from anybody. Okay. So I've been at all this stuff for a long, long time. So if you're out there and you're trying to do events and stuff, and you're like, cool, well, this guy's got some cool ideas, like, just shoot me a message. I always say, like with the shop here, if you've got enough ambition to come walk in and say, hey man, I got an idea, or this is what I'm trying to do, or I'm already doing something, but it's not working, I've got time for you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I mean, everybody's feel free to reach out if you ever want to kick it or pick my brain on something or whatnot. I mean, it's what I do, right? So, and I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I know an
Go ahead.
awesome company that'll make shirts and hats for your next event.
Gotcha, man.
Oh boy! Wow!
Hey,
Wow!
listen, bring him to this one, man. Get him on the table there. You know.
On
Hey.
top of his game. A couple of things here. Is your six covered? Says just make sure people are not waiting around and well organized. And
Yep.
Gene Simmons says, are there any waivers for safety issues, injuries, or legal stuff?
Oh boy, you better believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can't have an event like this without all that, right? So.
Yeah, I was gonna say the magnitude of this event with all the moving around and ammo, you best believe you are going to sign a waiver of some such.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's got to do all that stuff. We got medics on site. They're well prepared as far as routes, and local authorities are notified that this is what we have going on. There's a safety brief at the beginning of the morning. There's another one in the afternoon. I've gone, done my due diligence to make sure that we've got our, all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted in terms of making sure all these things are taken care of. So.
Yeah. David Cardinal is asking what Rock River did to upset people. I don't know if we really want to get into adjudicating all of that right now. I think we've done it. We've done it in the past. Maybe the folks in the chat can explain some of that. I would be happy to have the people from Rock River Arms or Springfield come on the show, talk about things with folks, because I think one of the number one things here in the community that people should do is actually talk to the community and at least get your grievances out. Are the folks from Rock River going to be at the event, or you just have the guns?
That's when you've got sponsors, you always want them to come to the event, right? You want them to come to the event, you want them to make the most of it, and you want them to get some sales. This is a good event for point of sale opportunity due to the fact that nobody's showing up with anything, and these are completely new markets, right? So that being said, though, I never expect any sponsor to do that. It's not a requirement, right? I mean, so the sponsors that show up, and the ones that don't. But as far as me saying, yes, this one will be here and that one won't, and yada, yada, and all that, I don't even want to go there, because now I'm speaking for what they've got going on. And,
right, absolutely.
Stuff happens in business and things change, and you gotta juggle and shift and all that. And I mean, shit, I get it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, Mike, did you have any other questions here?
No, nothing right now.
First of all, I want to remind everyone watching us to smash the thumbs up. So that's the first thing. Second thing, okay, so it seems like you've got a marketing company here, right? That's what you're doing nowadays?
Correct.
You're marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the first event that you're doing. What kind of marketing are you doing for this event?
This is the third event.
This is the third event.
This is the third one. Yep, this is the third one. So, the marketing, I'm really good with the Facebook and Instagram thing.
Okay.
And they told me to get lost in terms of the paid ads a little while ago. They changed the terms of service to
right.
For a long time it was if you cannot sell firearms, explosives, knives, weapons, you can't sell it through paid advertising. Now it's you can't sell it or promote the use of. So they added the promote the use of thing. So so we've kind of had to just, go old school with the marketing type thing. I'm getting all the flyers out to all the local gun shops, all the gyms, all that kind of stuff, shaking hands. Let's get out there. Let's make it happen. If you go to the website, you'll see the Dropzone team. I've got great brand ambassadors on there that are out there getting people signed up and things like that. Obviously, podcasts like this are helpful. So it's kind of just your typical PR/leverage marketing blitz.
Yeah, guerrilla marketing kind of stuff.
You got it.
Along those lines, Flying Rich wants to know if there's any video out there of the prior events.
Oh, yeah. No, there definitely is. If you just go to YouTube and search for Dropzone Gunner, you'll see a ton of them. On the website, we have 2 videos on the homepage of the website. One is a 60-second trailer, which is pretty tight. And the other one is kind of like a behind-the-scenes, what's up day of, 5 to 6 minute little short film. I like to do a lot of those, and I do a lot of those for other clients, and I do a lot of them for myself. Basically, have the cameraman follow me around or whoever around for the whole day, and create those cool 7 to 12-minute vlogs that really showcase what it is you're all about. The one for Dropzone actually just got picked up by Carbon TV. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carbon TV
I've
or
heard
not,
of them before. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go there and you search for Dropzone Gunner, we've got 3 episodes on there. One is from the event last year. One is from me. And basically the whole concept of all this is like, I'm a guy, I'm trying to build this thing. I work with a lot of companies, and I'm all about networking and collaboration, right? So we've got another one where I'm at Florida Firearms Academy here in Tampa. Got a handful of guys there. The guys from Walther Arms were there. Gave a shout out to my boy Chris from Cleanse Oil. A lot of your listeners are going to know Cleanse Oil, I'm sure. They're a fantastic company, Florida-based company. So that event was really cool. That's like, I think that's like 5-6 minutes. What was that event like? And then we got another one where I got 2 sponsored shooters that I work with, Eric Leopold and Ray Churnside. I'm sure some of your listeners are going to know those 2. Shout out to those guys. We got the Startup Street logo on the jersey. I'm really happy about that. They got sponsored up by Special Ops Tactical, based over towards Orlando. So what we did was we kind of filmed us going out there, grabbed the rifles. Cool. Then we got rained out, so it's kind of a 2-part thing. Then we went to the range down in Manatee Gun and Archery. They have a really good local 3-gun match.
How'd you get rained out from shooting?
I got cameras and shit I gotta bring with me, man. You know,
safety hazard.
So
That's what shopping bags are for, man.
It's a little bit more with safety also. You know.
Umbrellas. Get umbrellas. You know,
So
it's
we
Florida.
did.
You should have dive video equipment, right? You just put the cameras.
I'm open to it, man. And I gotta tell you, in the summer it's tough.
I know.
You know, it's tough. And so we had to do it again, and then that one got rained out.
Okay.
And then the next one got rained out, and then we finally got a chance to do it. That one is, I believe that one is on carbontv.com. That one is freaking super cool, man. I mean, that is like, we're talking with Garrett over at Special Ops Tactical. Eric gets the rifle. It's cool, awesome, everybody's happy. And then it cuts, and then we're at the range.
Okay.
At that 3-gun event. And I mean, you know, when we're doing the editing with all these things too, it's kind of a different feel for it. It's very behind the scenes, a lot of music, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a couple of product placement shout outs and stuff like that, but it's really more to showcase what it's like for all these guys, sometimes me, living that life, right? So it's meant to be raw. I want it raw.
Okay.
You know?
So along the lines of marketing, since we have you here, obviously a big part of marketing today in any space, whether you're doing cars, you know, whatever it is that's your thing that you want to market, right? Which pretty much that's everything in the world, makeup, etc. In the gun world, since this is your area of expertise, I would like to know, what do you think about the changing landscape on social media? The whole, you know, obviously, I think you've had radio and you've had magazines and stuff like that, but I think the most dominant one is social media.
By far.
Things like YouTube on. What do you think about the changing landscape out there right now? Are you paying attention to that?
So kind of the really cool thing that's going on is that as long as competition can exist, okay, when one thing gets shot down, other things spring up. And that's why you see like Carbon TV, Full 30, I think, is it Full 30? I think it's called, is another online channel that...
Yeah, there's Full 30, there's Gunstreamer.
Yeah, so, you know...
Full 30 is kind of like a zombie right now, but it's out there. So,
is it? Okay, and it's, don't get me wrong, it's tough to create those because while everybody wants a good place for that safe content, everybody else they know is still on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. So getting them off of there to build something else is really tough. But as long as competition exists, you always have other things that pop up. But in terms of what's actually going on right now, I mean, it's obviously not good at all. And how far are they willing to go? I mean, I'm sure we know where they all want to go, right? They all want all of it taken and all of it's done, you know, and so we end up in some kind of odd, what is that movie there? Remember the movie Demolition Man? where you're just the guy's walking down the street and he the little curses and the ticket just pops out. You've been fined.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's like a dystopian nightmare.
Correct. Because that's what I always say. People are like, "Oh, Facebook jail," and now Facebook jail's kind of reached this thing where it's almost funny, right? And I'm like, wait till they own your phones, and they own the internet provider as well.
Yeah.
And it's no longer kicked off Facebook.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would ever run a Facebook phone, or actually a phone from any of those places. I'm not happy about running an iPhone, but I definitely do think it's getting worse. Like for example, our Facebook page got deleted. That's been about 3 weeks. We still haven't been able to get it back. We started a new one. I know I was talking to Todd from Elfster's Rifles and Reloading. He just got his page deleted, I think, for like the 3rd time in the last 3 months.
It's such absolute. I mean, it's absolute garbage. I don't know how much we're allowed to curse on here. Or whatnot,
you can curse if you
need
to. Yeah. You can
okay, so
curse,
it's just one of those things where it's like, and so here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't buy that. Well, the name of the game with all the really big corporations is always to just regulate the competition out of existence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So down the road, you might not have a choice then.
Right.
Look at how many auto manufacturers we have now. You used to have a ton of them. You used to have a lot of choices and a lot of different things, and it's all getting kind of narrowed in those really key areas, right? So,
well, I'm saying I won't buy into it because obviously I'm the person that they want to get rid of, right?
Right.
And us as what we believe in here, as people who believe in the Second Amendment, freedom, the Constitution, etc. We're the enemy for them. So why would I buy into that and promote those people, right?
Right.
It's so, for example, like PayPal banned me for life just because I'm a gun guy.
Me too, my man. I'm in that club. And then you know what they did? I talked to them. Oh, I was so freaking pissed about this. I talked to them about Dropzone. And they're like, yeah, no, it's cool. Then out of the middle of nowhere, they're like, you're done.
Yeah.
We're keeping your money for 6 months, blah, blah. And then they're like, and you own this Startup Street PayPal account too?
Gone.
That's banned for life too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like you gotta be kidding me. There's no appeal. There's nothing. You're done.
That's what's going on nowadays. And so allowing these guys to become utilities and then at the same time kind of make these pseudo-moral decisions and things like that. I'm definitely not going to support that because I won't exist inside of that environment. So I definitely won't support it. What do you think we can do about this? What do you think we could do?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different options out there, right? Depending on how nuts you want to get. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, there's kind of that saying, that old saying, each one teach one type thing. Mm-hmm. And as long as every person is doing their part, that's really about all you can expect.
Okay.
I mean, there is a tidal wave that's moving in a direction. And keep in mind, I'm not a big fan of what a lot of the Republican Party does either. Mm-hmm. I think they're fairly out of control at this point as well, just in different areas, right?
I would 100% agree with you. We can't depend on them or anyone for that matter.
Right. So, you've got to kind of look at it in the great, without trying to get like super political or whatnot, but you got to kind of look at it in that. I like to always say, well, what would the founders do, right? And the people have mechanisms to start. I think the first things first, when you got a problem, you have to admit there's a problem, right?
Okay.
And we have to look at ourselves and say, we caused this freaking mess, right? Mm-hmm. We're the ones that put these people in charge. Mm-hmm. And it's always, well, it's not my fault, it's that one's fault. And then the other one says, well, it's not my fault, it's that one's fault. Mm-hmm. And you have two companies making policy for 100 years now. Mm-hmm. What on earth do you think is going to happen? Like, there is nothing less entrepreneurial, capitalistic, innovative, or creative in this country than our political system.
Absolutely, yeah, especially a two-party one, which basically just serves the members of the party.
So,
and, not the subjects. We're the subjects of the party. They're the members. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
but
it's their party, and we can cry if we want to, but it's not going to do anything. Yeah.
When you have a 10% approval rating with a 90% re-election rate, why on earth would anybody change? there's no accountability.
Right.
So from an outsider looking at it would probably say, well, if everybody's so unhappy, why don't they start organizing themselves? But then you've got to kind of keep in mind how things, generally speaking, go in societies. And for the most part, we're all pretty comfortable here. And it just comes down to, well, how much are you willing to lose in order to get what you believe in type thing? How far are you willing to go down that rabbit hole, And I think, for the most part, the majority of the people in the country are, well, they might not be happy with things. And, you got Maslow's hierarchy of needs there. We're still very comfortable with all of those basics. That though, when you get to those levels is really when you start getting a lot of discontent and, things start getting shaken up really quickly.
Okay, but, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if I'm 100% familiar with that. I'm going to have to look that up. Are you familiar with that, Mike?
It's pretty. It's kind of like a.
I'm gonna Google it and see if I can throw this up here on the screen. Boom. Okay. So self-actualization, desire to become the most that one could be, esteem, love, belonging, safety needs, psychological needs. Okay. All right. Fill us in on this because I'm not super familiar with it. So what can you?
That's just basically it's an older model, and basically it just talks about the needs of people. And you've got you have fundamental needs at the bottom, and as you get higher up, you want more things, and you're it's an attempt to try to get to the top type thing. But at the end of the day, basically, why I refer to that, it's like until people start having major issues with food, shelter, clothing,
you're right,
water.
Yeah,
you can't expect a whole lot to change.
They're still in the Matrix. They're still in the. They prefer. If you guys know the Matrix movie, right? What was the whole thing about the first movie? The guy that betrayed them came to realize that he preferred the Matrix, where he could sit down in a nice restaurant with some nice clothes on, have a nice steak, versus like suffering in the friggin' apocalypse.
Comfort level.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I think that is the problem that we have. Mike, was there a question here that you wanted to ask before I go any further?
No.
Okay. So my question to you then, Jeremy, while we're on the subject of, I don't really plan like what we're going to talk about. Obviously, I do want to help, support the Dropzone Gunner event that you have going on. If anyone's coming in right now, there's different links and things like that in the description, but just go check out Dropzone Gunner. Okay, so we're all gun guys. We're here. We acknowledge that the powers that be on different social media platforms, including this one that we're talking on, we can't hold guns up while we're live, for example. So I can't hold up a gun while we're live. Facebook is deleting people left, right, and center. I think now I saw Guns and Gear had a thing up where they're going through his posts and fact-checking stuff now. And if he puts up too much stuff that they feel is like fake news, then he's got more trouble coming at him. There's all these different things going on lots of different platforms, right? We're gun guys. We're out there. This is supposed to be protected by the Second Amendment. Okay? What do you think? Like, I'm trying to find out from you. Like, if you seem like a very intelligent guy, thinking forward, do you think there's a solution to this? Do you think there's something that we could do, work on, build, get together, have meetings, or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I think that the people organizing themselves is always the first step towards trying to put something together that's on the outside in order to affect a change. You never want things to get too crazy in order to get it, right? That happens all throughout history. But I think that the people that coming to the conclusion that it's on them. I don't think that the country was set up. The idea was every 2 years, every 4 years for half, and every 2 years for a quarter of the population to just simply go to the polls, hit a few buttons, pick a couple things, say, okay, cool. My role in managing all of this is now done, right? So it's why I'm such a huge proponent of decentralization in general. People say, well, what's your solution? I just say decentralization and return the power to the people and return the accountability to them as well. unfortunately, when we're talking about government, that train usually doesn't go in reverse. Okay. And, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I mean, what are we at? Like 23 trillion in debt now? Something like that. I mean, in order to literally fix that, like, you're not going to grow your way out of it. Okay. You need to like slash and burn major, and that will just automatically plummet the nation into a major recession. So a politician is going to voluntarily do that, and his party will go down. So they're all going to lose their jobs. So to a certain, if you've got, well, we can do this, we can organize it, we can get it fixed. And then you have the other mindset, which is just that when you look throughout history, this trend just kind of goes and you ride it till the wheels fall off. And, the one thing I always say, when the wheels fall off, what all of those scenarios have in common is that the people are always scratching their heads afterwards and saying, how did this happen? How did this happen? I can't believe it. And it's like, well, when you look at what's actually going on, it's fairly easy to forecast it, actually.
Okay.
Like I said, we're 23, the roads are falling apart, and we're arguing over, and I'm sympathetic to all this stuff, but we're arguing over what sign goes on a bathroom door. You know what I mean? The freaking the roads are falling apart. The water quality is crap in a lot of cities.
Yeah.
But
like you said,
the water ain't right here in Tampa.
Yeah, but like you said, no one really wants to do anything about it because what can you do? Can you just print money or something like that? Well, like when a bottle of water starts costing $10,000 or something because we're printing money, then that's a worse scenario for just psychologically, right? That's like some Zimbabwe type stuff right there to go down. So I don't think that's what they're going to do. We don't have any massive wars going on. Like you said, right now people are pretty comfortable. We do have war going on overseas. Folks like Mike have gone out there and fought and bled and in lots of cases died for our country. But most people here don't see that. They don't see the nightmare, like we were talking about, the dystopian nightmare. The people don't see the nightmare of what that is, so no one really feels it here. So we're not digging in and saying, hey, we need to fix this. Let's start building stuff and hiring people. We got tons of folks out there that are addicted to stuff, including over-the-counter medications. Right. It's just really, really crazy.
It really is, and I think that a lot of people forget too is that generally speaking, the political class, if you want to call them or whatever, they're not great organizers a lot of times. Okay? They're good at being a politician, but they're not great organizers, and that's why somebody like myself, I prefer to keep as much of the solution-oriented stuff in the hands of the people and just let them figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be a hotbed of creativity and entrepreneurship and all that. And as the years go on, just more and more gets centralized into the federal government, and then it's big blanket policy that always sucks, and it's always a mess. And then now we got to fix the mess. Right. So let's create another mess over here to fix the mess that was caused by this mess.
That's where it comes for people to be entrepreneurs in the government. Because of the fact they are making the problem to try to solve the problem, which is more of a problem. But the only time you really hear from anybody on a political stand is when it's time to get reelected. And this is when the power of the vote really does matter, because these same people are pretty much begging for their jobs, giving false promises. But you always notice that they only talk to certain communities.
Right.
Why is that? You talk, you get false promises, but then you don't come through until the next time it's time to do the same thing all over again. Yeah. And people are brainwashed and fall for it. So
there's just so much cash in the system right now. You know what I mean? $5 trillion. Like, that is so much cash. They should not have access to anywhere near that amount of money. That is an uncontrollable mess at this point. And that credit card is going to come due at some point. It's going to come due. Yeah. We're all in agreement on that. Yeah, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, let me just get to this real quick, and let me remind everyone to smash the thumbs ups out there. American Freedom Outdoor is talking about, I do have my personal Facebook page is still up. So if you're seeing like a personal Facebook page of mine, that's still up. They haven't deleted that yet. What we're talking about is the fan page. We had like a fan page We had about 16, 17,000 people following us on there. That's what we use to promote the different things that we're doing. So that's the conversation that we're having. The personal one is still there, although they've put some limits on me, but it's still there. And I could still post things to a certain extent. I can't access any of the other fan pages that we have. So that's what's going on with that, if you're wondering. Okay, so here's the reason, like the thing that I'm trying to point to here. And by the way, shout out to Ashley from Gunstreamer. We were talking about platforms earlier. Ashley and Gunstreamer, they're a platform out there for folks. If you're in the gun community, you have a YouTube channel, and you worry about the stuff YouTube's doing, Gunstreamer is a place that you can put your content. You can also sign up with them, and they'll pull your content from YouTube and put it over there uniquely on their stuff, and it'll be on YouTube as well. So if anything happens, you still have it there. But obviously, there's more than that we need to do, right? So for me, what I think is we need to start building our own ecosystem, because in all of this stuff happening, we're getting marginalized. And you're right from what you're saying that there's just so many problems going on right now in our world at large, right here in America, that most people are not paying attention or not worried about the fact that we're losing access to our First Amendment rights. These platforms are pushing us down, suppressing us, ghosting us, whatever, however you want to look at it. I think we really need to have our own ecosystem to combat that, to make sure that we survive. We talk to the gun guys, we're able to do commerce, communicate with each other, and organize. That's the big thing that they're worried about, like how we have an election coming up, and there's all these attacks on the Second Amendment around the country, including in very places that were previously very strong for the Second Amendment. There's attacks now. That's what happened in Virginia. That's what's happening in Arizona, Florida, all over the country. This is happening, Georgia, etc. So, to me, I think we need to have our own ecosystem. I'm not saying that we completely come off of those other things, but we need to figure this out amongst ourselves.
So with you saying that, that's just reminded me of something. So, when you guys were asking me, so are you going to take this out nationally, possibly, or what are your goals or whatnot? And like a lot of people tell me, they're like, well, don't go to California and do it. And I'm like, no, I need to go right into the middle of California and do this. Okay. And I've always heard that of, oh, well, this is happening. I'm moving out. I'm moving over here. And then, well, that happened over here. And it's like, well, where does that game end? That game ends with what? Everybody literally in one state now?
No. I mean, we're not going to be able to run. So, eventually, where we're going to run to? We're going to run into the seas. We'll just be floating around out there like pirates or something like that. No, I don't think so. Yeah. So I think that, ultimately, listen. I did that, right? I grew up in New York City.
I'm from upstate, from Rochester.
Oh, okay.
So
right. I grew up in Far Rockaway, New York, and I got out of there, went to New Jersey, actually worse, and then came to Florida because I got sick and tired of all this stuff. And then coming to Florida, I started getting into that mindset, like I have to take care of myself. I can't depend on Republicans, Democrats, or anyone like that to do anything for me. So, and that's kind of like how I wound up here, right? So I think that now I completely lost my train of thought of where I was going with this. I think
we're talking about people moving.
Yeah, moving. Yes, right. Yeah. So the thing about moving, so I moved out here to Florida. Then guess what? A lot of people moved here from Florida, from New York, because of the taxes and all that kind of stuff. And now we're okay. I think Mike is switching over here.
Yeah, I'm switching out right quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so because of, eventually because of all these people coming down here, Florida is starting to go in that direction. And that's what creates the situation where you realize you just can't keep running.
Right. So, but I always like that. I'm like, no, man, I need to go right into California and put one of these on. It's at some point, like I said, with the concept of this event. Are you hearing that feedback in your headphones?
Yeah, I'm hearing it too. That's Mike. Mike, can you mute at all? Let me see if I can mute him. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna mute him. Okay, I muted him. Go ahead. Sorry.
Cool. So,
Right.
It's at some point when you're just playing defense constantly, at some point you got to come up with some things that are playing offense, some consistent efforts to actually bring people in. And that's kind of what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast was that, one of the really more bigger driving forces of all of this for me is to create things that bring more people in, create things that have a different feel. It's targeting different people in order to, combat that. I mean, you got to come up with some things and innovate in order to stay competitive. I don't care what it is you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm totally with you though on the states thing, and that you've only got really a handful of them left that mm-hmm. have a decent amount of people in them, that mm-hmm. are major players in terms of the electoral system. And I don't, I don't know what the solution is. Like I said, there's different options and things like that, and it just comes down to how much are the people willing to give up in order to get what they think that they want, know?
Yeah. Now, let me just figure out exactly what Mike is up to, because I have no clue. It looks like he's in his car or something right now. Mike, what are you up to, man? You're muted. Hold on. Let me see if I could turn your microphone back on here. Let's see. Okay, now I don't know how to actually unmute him. You got to unmute yourself, Mike. Okay, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. He's headed off somewhere. So, I don't know. I think he had to go get some groceries. I'm just going to make up stuff of exactly what's happening with Mike. I'm not 100% sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, we can hear you. What are you up to?
Yeah, I got a delivery that came in. I just got notified about it, and I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So we'll have Mike there making his pickup here while we're doing this. All right. So listen,
yes,
people,
you can stick around with me on the pickup.
Yeah. Okay. I will mute him again, just so that.
What kind of a pickup is this? Does he need witnesses for what's going on there right now?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he really does. Okay, someone brought up, let's go to some new stuff that's going on. Someone brought up the pigeons, I guess, in Vegas. Someone released pigeons in Vegas, and they glued little tiny MAGA hats to the pigeons' heads or something like that. Have you seen that?
I love it. I haven't seen that, no. But I will say, I was dropping some flyers off first thing this morning. Mm-hmm. And there was a semi in the truck, and somebody in the dirt wrote Trump 2020 on the side of the semi in the dirt, and I got a kick out of that. I took a quick video of it. So, everybody needs to kind of do what you can do, and you do your best, and you try not to get too emotionally tied to the results, because you can drive yourself insane otherwise. Mm-hmm. And that's what you try to do. So.
Yeah. Let's see what this is. I'm going to try to pull up the news on this and see if I can read through this. I'll put it up here. Okay. So my thing says mysterious group protests Dem debate by unleashing pigeons wearing MAGA hats. Okay. I don't know if there's actually any video of that, but I guess, let me see if this is video of this whole MAGA pigeon hat situation. I'm sure they didn't use, oh, we gotta watch a commercial before we even see that. Okay. So an anonymous group claimed it was behind the release of pigeons over the city of Las Vegas that are wearing MAGA hats, and in at least one case, a wig that resembles President Trump's hair. The group calling itself Pigeons United to Interfere Now, or Putin. Oh boy, it's the Russians. It's the Russians. Called it an aerial protest of Wednesday night's Democratic debate, local Fox affiliate KWU reported. They also released a video of birds wearing the headgear with a voiceover dialogue from Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. So let's see if this is actually video of the MAGA hat wearing pigeons. Let's see this video here if we can roll this in. Oh, look at that. I'm sure this isn't permanent glue. So these pigeons aren't permanently going to be scarred. But yes, if you're listening to this, they are pigeons that are wearing little tiny. That's really cute. Okay. And then the next thing you know, people will be catching those pigeons and eating them in protest of them wearing their MAGA hats. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it seems clever. It got some attention, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's basically how I look at just about everything.
Right.
And
Yeah.
can you break through the noise and get some attention, you know?
Yeah.
So did they just let the pigeons fly around, or did they actually have them fly and come back to a location?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to assume that they had no choice but to let them, they let them out. So they're flying around, but they're probably homing pigeons of some sort, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
thinking. So
yeah.
if you're going to go to the hassle of making them blue, you
Yeah.
might want them back.
It's probably Mike Tyson. That's the only guy I know that controls the pigeons. It's probably Mike Tyson out there controlling these pigeons. What other stuff is going on in the news that folks are noticing? I don't know if there's any other news stuff that people want to get into. Any gun news or anything like that here? Let's see. Special K says PETA is going to go crazy. I'm pretty sure that they will. Did you guys get to see the debate? Anyone watch the debate at all? I watched clips. I didn't watch the whole thing. I really can't stand.
Yeah, I watched clips of it, but I heard that Bloomberg got it handed to him.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think that's really going to super affect him. I think that'll be a little bump. He's got so much money at this point. He's just going to keep pouring money into it, and and ultimately he's going to be there. I think even Bloomberg, I saw, said this, that everything last night is just a win for Trump. Yeah.
Right.
Because basically people are looking at these jokers and they're like, wow, what is the deal here? And I know I saw some of the stock market folks saying, I mean, there was like full-on communism and socialism on parade at the debate last night. So, and that's the thing that has to worry you. Like if you're out there and you make money, you pay taxes and things like that, and you're thinking these guys' solutions to everything is to just tax the living daylights out of you or take your stuff and give it to someone else. It's pretty. I think all of that is going to lead to 4 more years.
I would have to say so,
Yeah.
But then again, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it hinges on how the economy's doing, and
Yeah.
People hated Hillary Clinton, and she won the general vote.
Mm-hmm.
And the popular vote. You know what I mean? And people hate her. Even the people that voted for her hate her. So
yeah, but if you think about what happened there with Hillary, I mean, yes, I agree with you. A lot of people didn't like Hillary, but the media was big on her side.
Huge.
Yeah, and still, the popular vote, I guess, is just not enough. That's not how elections work.
Right.
So.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Right. So I did see that Drudge was talking about Bloomberg potentially grabbing Hillary as the VP, which I think is just.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get that far. I don't know if we're gonna go that far down the road. I think right now they're cannibalizing each other.
Oh, for real.
It'll be interesting to see who survives that. Bloomberg has a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, ultimately, I believe he'll be in the final 3 or something like that,
Yep.
And we'll see other guys dropping out here. Go ahead.
How
Mike.
much is he actually worth, Bloomberg?
Would they say 40 billion? I think 60 billion.
I think it's more than 60 billion. I could pull it up. Bloomberg's worth. I thought it was more even than 60 billion. Hopefully 60. Okay, so this thing that I'm pulling up here says he's worth about 64.2 billion. So he could he could drop 5 billion on this thing and be fine.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah. He could drop 10 billion. Is all of this even? You can write this off on your taxes, right? So.
Sure,
Yeah.
He can donate that and turn around and
Just set it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine right there. I'm on a podcast. I apologize. All right, thank you.
Yeah, the range says his net worth is 51.8 billion, and he makes over 10 billion a year off his company right now today. Yeah, so he could easily just drop 10 billion here.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't lose even if he doesn't get the nomination, you know, doesn't become president. He's not really losing in the long run. So, yeah.
He still has insight and still have and still persuade people to go his way in whatever he wants.
Yeah. Harry's holster. Shout out to Harry. He says, I have friends who are voting Trump this time. They don't like him, but they like the way he's upsetting some of the system. And after 4 years, they don't think he'll cause an apocalypse. Yeah. I could agree with that. It's definitely no apocalypse going on out there. You know, there's no apocalypse. When people have money to put to glue, to catch pigeons, glue little red hats on them, not an apocalypse going on.
Exactly. The people are comfortable. So.
Mm-hmm. And then Harry Holsters is saying Bloomberg's net worth seems sketchy if you look at the timeline. So it all gets blurred after you go over the first billion. You know, what can I say?
Yeah, he wasn't one that was like from generational wealth, or did he start from nothing?
I have no idea. I haven't followed him that closely to know where the money came from, to be honest with you. Special K says, how about using all your billions, really helping out the needy and really making a difference? Help out the homeless, vets, people that need medical help. But that would make too much sense. I figure in his mind, he thinks that's what he's doing. So, you know, we'll see how all that stuff plays out. Okay, so did you get your package now that, you know, you got your package?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're still on your little clandestine drug deal, huh?
Yeah, man. You'll see it here in a little bit.
Oh, okay. As soon as when we see some blues and twos in the background, yeah, we'll have to pass the collection plate around to. Oh, I hear sirens.
Hey, that ain't me. That ain't nobody.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fire. That's a fire engine right there.
That's me. I've got there's a hospital right down the street here, and about once or twice a day. Because one of the rooms here at Startup, we turned into a cool little podcast center. Mm-hmm. They got like 5 mics in there. I bought a lot of equipment and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, when that happens, there's not a whole lot of solutions for it. So.
No, yeah, I understand. It's the same thing. Same thing here. So in this building, we were on the inside of the building at one point, and it was a lot quieter. But now I'm kind of on the street, so every now and then you'll hear a fire truck or someone on a really loud bike or something go by.
Yeah.
Tell us about the podcast that you have going on.
So it's kind of cool. I've got one that we did. We used to do it a lot. It was called Corner Launch.
Okay.
And it's just I had a radio show here in Tampa for about a year and a half that was on 88.5, and I was taking an hour out of my day once a week to do it. I bring some of the crew in there, and we just do Q&A, all marketing, entrepreneurship stuff, small business. You got questions, we got answers type thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted to kind of I wanted a bigger commitment from the station, but the audience on there is pretty hardcore left, and you know, and they're, these guys are capitalists on there and all that, and I'm like, yeah, no, you know, no shit. And I'm the guy taking freaking an hour out every week to answer the questions for people that are out there trying to do shit and make shit happen, you know. But I'm bad now or something. So they were getting some weird feedback and whatnot, and I couldn't get the bigger commitment out of them. And so I just said, all right, screw it, and took one of the rooms here at Startup. I'm not in there right now. This is the main room at the front of the shop. Took one of the rooms at Startup and just kind of built out the whole little podcast center thing. It's pretty cool, man. Big ass table, conference table. We got 5 mics around it. You know, you got the TV up there. We got the whiteboard, the mobile whiteboard.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, man. I tried to soundproof it as best I can. There's no cure for, you know, ambulances and, you know, fire trucks going by and whatnot.
No. That's good
yeah,
sound effects. Good sound effects, you know.
Well, it's just all part of the thing, that's just part of the shop, and as long as you embrace it, then nobody really has a problem with it. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of cool. I've got another project going on too. Do a decent amount of real estate stuff. Well, I shouldn't say decent. I don't do too much of it anymore, but I'm partners with the guys over at Outfast Realty, and we're getting a fund started. And the whole goal with that is to help people. We can purchase homes and flip them and sell them, but also help other people purchase homes and flip them and sell them. Okay. Two of the guys that are involved in it are vets. One was a 13-year Green Beret. The other, I think, he did 8 in the Marine Corps. I think it was 8. Maybe it was 4. So when we're putting this together, we had to come up with a name for it. So we called it Deployed Capital. Okay. Deployed Capital Group, which kind of plays on both sides of it there then. And that's, the listeners won't be able to see this, but the viewers will. So that's the logo right there. We just got these shirts today, actually. It's just coincidence I'm wearing it. Oh, okay. And you can kind of see it's, you got the 2 arrows there, and it signifies, upward movement, positivity, but it also kind of looks like a stealth fighter a little bit too, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? So cool. Our goal is to help a lot of vets that are either currently flipping houses or would like to flip houses.
Right. Like, so when they come home and stuff like that, and they're looking for things. By the way, if you're just joining us and you see this very sketchy live-looking footage from Mike from MW Tactical, basically he's about to be on live PD. That's what I feel is going to happen. We're going to get to this is going to be an episode of, he's literally in a building somewhere now. So anyway, that sounds like a good idea, man. Get those, help those guys figure out how to employ themselves, make money. So, getting some feedback.
Yeah, that's the goal with it. It's a great group of guys. We're pretty excited about it. And that's another thing. Just trying to do things out there in the marketplace that affect positive change. Yeah, that's all you can do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see here. So you said you're originally from New York, right?
Yeah, from upstate, from Rochester.
Okay, so how long have you been living in Tampa?
10 years ago.
Oh, 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, 10 years, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up doing construction with my uncle. And by the time I was, 16, 17, I was delivering flyers in the snow and whatnot up there, trying to get some work and stuff. And by the time I was 20, I went and got insurance and started my own little thing. He was subbing me jobs. Some of those guys were subbing jobs. And I was, started doing a lot of the marketing stuff within that too, because now I'm marketing his company. I'm trying to figure out the marketing for my own. And then I'm helping a couple other people. And the construction thing kind of went off and on for, a handful of years there afterwards. Then it transformed kind of into a property management company here in Tampa for a while. I had 60 rental units that I was running for a little while, kind of on the side type thing. They all got sold a while ago. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's 19 years coming up here since I've taken a paycheck from anybody. And that's what I do for the marketing for Startup Street. It's just basically I help people that have ideas get going, and I help people that are already going probably do a little bit better job. And I've worked in, my goodness, I mean, I've owned at this point, manufacturing company, the event company, service company, construction company, real estate company, and I've worked in just about every other industry. People used to get a kick out of it. They'd be like, how are you doing this marketing? And you're doing all this stuff for Grizzly Targets over here, and then you're helping to expand this salon over there. And I'm like, I just like building things. Yeah. I like building things. I like helping people, and that's just basically what we do here. And there's 1,000,001 ways to skin the cat, but very rarely does anybody come through the door with something that I just can't help them with. If I don't know how to do it or I can't, then I certainly know somebody that does. So
yeah. So Florida Gun says if MW's deal goes south, he's not allowed to use firearm on the blog. So he's still out here. Where are you? Are you in Costco or something like that? He's in some kind of warehouse. I really think this is just a call for attention.
Right?
You're doing this thing in Walmart?
No, it's not Walmart, man. It's I'm at a spot, man. I'm
At
at
a
the spot.
spot?
I'm at the spot.
Oh.
Woodland.
Oh. Okay. Store pickup.
Say again?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna mute him here for a second, or if you can, mute yourself, Mike.
Yeah, I just hit the mute button.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is real funny, man. This will be funny if this turns into like an episode of live PD. Okay. So
if it does, I'm out of here. Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to be incriminated. Okay. So the thing is, how did you, from doing all this, how did you transition into making targets, to making steel?
So that was just kind of a scenario where one of the guys that I was working with a couple other things always kind of wanted to go into manufacturing, and liked the gun stuff and whatnot, and he's like, I think I'm gonna try to get this going. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure it out, if we really want to do it hard enough. And we got going. I'll still never forget when we sold our very first little piece on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a big moment. And God, this is probably, this has got to be probably 8-9 years ago now at this point. But and it's just one of those things where you get going and you try to keep building and you try to do a good job. And we came up with some pretty cool stuff over the years. And I mean, I'm not the guy that's at the range all the time either, but I listen and I ask questions. When people are talking about a classic system or target system or what could be better about this or whatnot, I know the questions to ask, and then I actually listen to what they say, as opposed to a lot of people which ask the question just to see if they could prove you wrong. Right. And then want to, you know what I mean? Like I don't care about any of that. I just want to know how do you build a better mousetrap.
Okay.
Sometimes it's sometimes it's cost effective. A lot of times you get suggestions that aren't. Build all of it, the stand, everything. All of it on AR 500.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, our cost just went from $70 to about $400. You want to buy one? Hell no. Okay.
So what can you tell us from your experience? What can you tell us about steel? Like, what do we need to know about steel? If someone's out there buying steel, what are the things for them to look for?
When you're in the target business, you have a lot of competition. It's like anything else right now, in that you've got a lot of competition from people that are kind of doing it on their own type thing, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that Grizzly does is all laser cut. Okay. And it's not a hot torch, yada yada, all that stuff. The reason they do that is because when you heat the steel up that hard, that much, the edges will start to get really brittle then, because this is heat treated. It's AR 500, which stands for the brittle, the brittle test hardness of it, right? So it heats up the edges, they get really brittle, and then now the edges of your target are all crap, and you don't want the edges of your target being crap, because now you've got more ricochet issues and whatnot. Generally speaking, though, the number one thing that people need to realize with steel targets is just make sure you're wearing your ear and eye protection. Ricochets happen sometimes, right? You can't. I don't care what you're doing. You're going to have instances in anything, right? So, and make sure pistol you're 25 yards out and rifle you're 100, and make no mistake about it though. Well, can I do this or can I do that? And I always tell people, I say, listen, man, if you wanted to try to destroy it, I promise you'll find a way. If your mission is to ruin something, trust me, you'll succeed if you try hard enough, right?
Yeah. How so what's that? Go ahead,
Back
Mike.
when I had ordered some steel, I remember the guy was saying like he could show me a certificate or something for the quality of steel, or it was something crazy he was saying, but that was like about 2 years ago.
Yeah, so when you get the steels, the bigger orders from the mills and whatnot, they can give you the mill certs that verify that these sheets were pulled from that area type thing. Generally speaking, I don't think that's too important for people to worry about, as long as you're buying from established retailers, because if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, well, then they're not going to be in business long anyways, right? So as long as you're buying from established people, I don't think you have to worry too much about that.
So how do I tell what's good steel? How do I know, like, hey, this is good steel? Just look for the
You really don't know until you shoot it.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Okay,
I
and
mean,
then what am I looking for when I shoot it? Pitting or?
So you might get a little bit of pitting when you're shooting it, with some aspects of 223 or some rounds of 308, but for generally speaking, the steel should maintain the bulk of its integrity when you're shooting it with these things, as long as you're shooting it within the realm. You don't want to shoot green tips at it. That's going to mess it up. I've seen people that just had some steel and tried to make targets, and they shot it and the bullet went right through it. So you really never know what kind of steel you got. If you're just buying it off of eBay or something, you're going to Craigslist and just buying steel to shoot it. You don't know what you have until you shoot at it. There's really, it's like anything else. And you basically buying it from a garage sale. Who knows what we got? You know what I'm saying? So you just stick to there's a good handful of vendors out there that do a good job and they've been around for a while. Grizzly's one of them. You stick to what you got to do. And
so UL Adams says you can get AR-500 water cut. What's the difference between the water cut, the laser cut? What do we? I'm just trying to pick your brain since I have you here.
No, that's all good. Personally, I've never really seen that much of a difference between water versus laser. The main thing to make sure is that they're not, torching it by hand. And you can tell on the edges what it was cut with.
Okay. It just won't be as smooth.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah, if they're doing it by hand. So laser and water is pretty smooth, I'm taking it. Then.
Correct. And I believe that I've got, out of those three things, I believe I have them. It's been a little while. I believe I'm saying what I'm supposed to say with that. It's been a little bit. And like I said, I've only got so much mental space going on up there.
Yeah, right. Okay, understood. So I think the one thing I would try to find out from you while I have you here, how does someone, like I've got a bunch of steel on my range that's been out there for a while. How do I, look at that and go, hey, this steel should be decommissioned and we don't really need this out here on the range? How do I figure that stuff out?
It's basically significant pitting.
Okay.
And sometimes if you don't really have anything way down range, past where your targets are, and you've got some gongs way down there, you know what I mean? And you can beat them up pretty hard. Where you got to kind of look out for is, when you're shooting the steel a lot closer, right? Because the pitting is where you no longer have a flat surface, and that's where we start to run into ricochet issues and things like that. The bullet isn't just hitting it and getting driven into the ground like it's supposed to, right? You've got all these crazy jagged edges all over the place and all that other crazy stuff. So that's the general rule of thumb with that.
Oh, okay. All right. So if anyone's joining us right now, we have Jeremy from
Dropzone Gunner LLC.
Yeah, Dropzone Gunner. They have an event that's going on here in March. He's here to talk about that event. We'll get into it. We also have Mike from MW Tactical. He's doing some kind of crazy deal. We have no idea what's going on right now. Waiting for the popo to come pick him up. The ops coming in to get him. Right, that's gonna go down live. So just give us the run through one more time, Jeremy, on the event that you're putting on. It's gonna be at the Aries Range, in Leesburg here in Florida. Give us the time. What's happening at the event? What does it cost? How can folks find out more info about it?
Gotcha, cool. So Dropzone Gunner is basically, guys, a mud run obstacle course with staged firearms throughout it. There's a lot going on there. It's $99 to run the course. It includes your ammo. You don't need to bring any firearms with you. And this is kind of a nice event for people who maybe are out of state. Maybe you're in the snow right now. You don't have to travel with your firearms to come down and do this event. Just show up. So it's $99 to run it. It's $20 to watch it. Anybody who's there gets entered into the raffle. We've got, $15K worth of firearms we're raffling off over the course of 2 days. Top 5 guys all get a rifle. We've got a ton of other stuff that we're putting on the prize and raffle table from all of these other sponsors and whatnot. I think that Mike said he was going to put a hat and a T-shirt on there or something like that earlier.
Yeah. I'm rolling in your website. I don't know.
Cool.
Is that what Mike said? Yeah, I'm rolling in the website right now for anyone who wants to know. It says a brand new experience for the folks on audio. Obstacles Firearms Trail Runs, March 14th and 15th, 2020. Aries Firearms Training Facility, which is in Leesburg. And then I think you have some video and different things going on there. And
it's a really fun event. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a really unique experience. There's really nothing else with that kind of vibe and that kind of itinerary, if you will, out there like this. So I highly encourage everybody to do it. If you do, I'm very, very grateful for it. These things are a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, it is a lot of work putting these things together. So anybody that's willing to support me, man, I'm very grateful for it. So
yeah. So for anyone listening out, everyone who's listening to us right now, smash the thumbs ups. We need that. We appreciate it. How can the folks who want to participate with you in this event, how can they get in touch with you and find out about that?
So if you got questions, go to the Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/DropZoneGunner. Shoot me a message there if you like. DM me on Instagram, Dropzone Team. Buy the tickets. Go to the website, dropzonegunner.com. I think like I said before, we'll do Strange 10 for anybody that wants to get 10% off their tickets for your followers and whatnot.
Okay. So you've got a little discount code going on, Strange 10. Okay.
Yeah, we'll put that together. I'll put that together right after we get off the podcast.
Yeah, just shoot me out something to remind me of that, so I could throw that up and share it on some different places, and over the next couple of weeks here on the podcast, we'll put that up.
Yeah. So definitely, though, go grab a couple friends, come out, have a good time, have some fun. Anybody can do it, guys. You don't have to be in great physical shape to get through the obstacles. You don't have to be the most skilled shooter on the planet by far to get through the shooting element of it. If you struggle in either one of those capacities, we got more than enough people there to help you. I want you to come out and experience this, though, because once you do, you're going to be like, wow, I did that. I did that, and that was cool. And I met a ton of great people, met a lot of industry guys, and it's a pretty unique experience. You're not going to regret it. So
right. Now, earlier you were describing bringing out all the obstacles to this thing. It seems like you've got some pretty heavy obstacles. Can you describe those? And can you tell me how the hell you're going to get them out to this event? Do you have a tractor trailer or something?
Yeah, I mean, we got to flatbed it basically.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember when I was putting together the business plan to go national, I had it all broken down how much the obstacles actually weighed. And, we were going back and forth between just buying a giant Connex and put it in there and then have to load it onto the flatbed via pulley and then drop it off versus shipping it ourselves, basically hiring a guy with a semi to move them all, right? But that kind of gives you an idea of how heavy. I mean, so our major 9 obstacles, the signature obstacles, I mean, these are made of steel. And they're all galvanized too, so they don't rust, and that adds a lot of weight. And then you got all the logs that you put on them, and you got all these wooden walls, and I mean, it is heavy. So I believe that the guys from J-Dog Junk and Removal, and they're a local company, and that they have chapters all over the country. They're veteran owned and operated. Shout out to my man Kevin. I believe they're giving us a hand getting all the stuff down there.
Okay.
I believe so.
And then how long does it take you to set all this up?
The event, like I said, we want to have media runs going on the second half of Friday, so we'll have to start bringing everything down the weekend before. And it's a full week of setup. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a lot, man. I mean, when I say that this is a big event with a lot of overhead and a challenging thing to put together, I mean it really is. It's a lot. Wow. But I bust my ass at it, man. And I'm sure we'll have a couple little hiccups in this one. The next event that doesn't will be the first, right? But it's like I said, as long as everybody has a good time and the event runs fairly smooth, you can keep building, and you just keep, you have a long-term plan, and you keep going at it, and then you see where you end up in 5 to 10 years. So,
is there a charity component to this? Is there some organization that you guys are raising money for?
Yep. So we've got 4 groups involved. We got Mission 22. They, 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and their goal is to raise awareness on that. We've got another group involved that I've worked with in a few different capacities called Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that you guys listening should really go and check out. They're here local to Tampa, and what they do is they put the kids of special operations guys who have died, they put their kids through college.
Okay.
Which I always thought was a really cool angle to take in terms of picking a cause. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we got them involved. We've got Red, White, and Blue Team, which is all about keeping veterans active. They have chapters all over the country. And then we've got post 9/11 veterans, which they're based out of Tampa here too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the name says what they're all about in terms of support and whatnot. So those are our four groups that are involved as far as the nonprofits go. And, you know, I'm appreciative of all their support and whatnot. And, you know, it will be nice when we get the event a little bit further down the road so that you can start doing some major fundraising for some of these groups, you know, because obviously when you're getting events up off the ground and you're just hemorrhaging cash and losing cash on them, it's tough to really take care of that too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start making some serious cash and you start building some consistency and getting events going, and it's consistent, it's well established and all that, then you can really start to make a humongous difference in some of these groups' ability to operate and whatnot, especially some of the smaller ones.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like okay, we're hearing noise from Mike's thing here. It looks like his deal is all done now. I think he got the fried chicken sandwich or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, you know, I think it'll be cool to see that really become kind of like a festival event. I think that's what you were alluding to earlier, like kind of a family thing that something for everyone to do. Some people can come down there and compete. Some people could get a chance to look at some of these companies. You know, you can get some other things involved in it. So, for example, our friend Walter, who's usually on the show, he's taking most of this week off. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's from Safety Harbor Firearms. That's in Safety Harbor.
Awesome.
Yeah, in your area, and he's into military vehicles as well. I think they're doing a military vehicle event this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the place where that event is going on. I know he talked about it on one of the previous.
So we could do something, and I'm not sure if this is what you're referring to, but we could do something where we bring some of those out there for the events, and not shoot them up, but you know, make them, you know, stage them somewhere, and he can talk about what he offers and whatnot. And
yeah.
Maybe we throw a few of them actually on the obstacle course and make people crawl underneath them or something, you know what I mean? So
yeah, his group that he's in, they've done stuff over at Aries before. So
cool,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'd love to reach out to him.
Mount Dora. That's where Florida Gun says Mount Dora. That's where that event's going to be. There's a big flea market out there, and that's where that event's going to be this weekend. Okay. By the way, for any fans of Safety Harbor Firearms, Walt, it is his birthday today, so you guys should go on his social media.
Happy birthday, Walt.
Yeah, wish him happy birthday out there. He's not going to be here in the chat because I know he was throwing up stuff of they were taking all the vehicles out and they're camping out there getting set up for this event. So Yoel Adams would like to know if you're going to have some knife companies coming out to the event.
I don't believe that we have any lined up right now. So okay. I mean, keep in mind. I mean, there's room for a lot of people. We've got vendor packages. Just hit me up. You know, hit me up. If you're a smaller company and you're local and you're looking for some exposure, you got to participate in things like this. You got to get out there and you got to shake hands. You got to meet people. And, you know, when you talk about some of the bigger events, something like this, you never know. You might meet somebody that can completely change the direction of your business. Right. You know, so.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to see, you know, some things like that. The kids would like to come out and see all those kinds of things. So, you know, that's the cool part of to me, these kinds of events. Just not just shooting. It's always fun, of course, to shoot and see folks and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be interesting, man. That's gonna be a rough week for you. I hope you're taking your getting your Wheaties and
it's going
taking
to be brutal.
your vitamins
The
and
only,
all that.
the only thing that I know is that St. Patty's Day is 2 days after that Sunday.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So that's what I'm holding on
You're going to
for.
get a nice tan out there, I'll tell you that.
Well, the very first one that we did, this was probably 4 years ago now. Man, we were out there and we're trying to get everything set up, and a lot of the obstacles that I had built for us at that point came to us. I wanted them 20 feet wide and 10 feet tall. Nice wide base, a little bit challenging. Man, a lot of these things came and they were 10 feet wide and 20 feet tall.
Ooh.
And we're trying to, and they're all wide. I'm like, we can't use this. And we designed some of the wooden obstacles so robust that we didn't have enough manpower to get them up. And at about 6:30 on Friday for that very first one, maybe 5 years ago now, I thought I was going to throw up. I thought I had finally bitten off more than I could chew. But we found some ways to navigate that and whatnot. But in terms of the sunburn there, yeah, my girlfriend at the time was supposed to bring us all lunch and water and sunscreen at like 9 o'clock that day. And she showed up at about 6 p.m. So you can imagine how frustrated everybody was that I had. They haven't eaten. We didn't have any water. Everybody's all burned to hell.
That's how you die.
So, yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah.
So
if you want
it's good. It's going to be a rough ass week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rough week, but if you want to do things like this, that's what it takes. You know, and you got to do what you got to do, and the bigger the goals, the more work it takes.
Yeah, that's a big part of the whole adventure,
Yeah.
Putting something like this together. Do you have someone shooting video through all of this that you can put up in the future?
Yeah, and we'll be doing a couple of videos coming up here pretty soon with some of the sponsors and a few other things, and then the week of setup we'll be doing some vlogs and stuff like that. And then for both days, I've got a very detailed list of things that we need to capture. Make sure we get some good promotional videos for the sponsors as a thank you for doing it, things that they can use that are evergreen that they can continue to use, things like that. So
so if you guys have any questions, this is the time to ask now in the last minutes that we have left here in the show. The Range says, this guy, Jeremy, seems like a super fun guy to hang out with. Wish I was down there in Florida. Dang it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you can always plan to come down to Florida. This part of the year is always good to be anywhere from the northern part of Florida. Always nice. March is still going to be decent. Once we go past March, though.
Yeah, it gets real.
Yeah, it's gonna be really real out there.
It gets real quick.
If you guys were out there like in May or June, she would have just come to find you guys done. Let me see if there's any other. New York Outcast says Florida is too damn hot for me to live. There's different parts of Florida, but that's true. It's Florida, man. Completely different thing. That's what it's like when you're living in the dingus of America. It's always extra heat. It's always extra heat, So, and that's not a bad thing here. Let me see if there's any other questions. I'm not even sure where the Range is exactly. Let's check in on Mike. Let's see if he made it. Looks like he's on his way driving back home now. What's going on with you, Mike? What was this deal all about here? Are we allowed to know? So,
just some video equipment.
Oh, okay. Oh, is this for your film that you're working on?
Yeah, it's just some video equipment for that, and I can use for other things as well. So I got notification that it came in, and I just went to go pick it up.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we're glad that you're on your way back home. You didn't get arrested or anything like that. No live PD.
We got live PD out here in Columbia, so.
Yeah, I know, man. It would have been very dramatic for the podcast. But we're glad.
No, I'm not trying to be on live PD.
Yeah. But we're glad you made it. So let's see. I'm trying to see. Is6 is still out there. Shout out to him. We've got a few minutes here to wrap it up. Here's what I'm gonna do in this time that we have left. I'm gonna go to you, Mike. I'll let you tell the folks out there how how they can get in touch with you, where to follow you. I know you still have your GoFundMe, right, for those classes going?
Yes, I still have the GoFundMe going right now until March 1. At March 1, we're going to end it, and then we already got an agreement with the gym of what we're going to do with the funds that are already collected if we don't meet the goal. The goal was $4,000, and right now we're about halfway there.
Okay.
So we're asking everybody to go to GoFundMe.com/LEO training, donate what you can give so we can put these officers in law enforcement, into jiu-jitsu training. But most importantly, everybody will get recognized on social media who do contribute. So once again, please go to GoFundMe.com/LEO training and give what you can give so we can put these officers into training.
Okay, and then where are the places that folks can go and just follow you on social media, communicate with you more about this?
All right, so I'm asking everyone to please go to Instagram and follow me by looking up at Munitions Weapons Tactical, or just do a search for Woodland and you'll see Munitions Weapons Tactical pop up. Go to Facebook and look up M-W Tactical. And if you're into podcasting, go to your favorite platform and look up the M-W Tactical podcast.
All right, very cool. And then Jeremy, just one last time, tell the folks out there about the event, how they can get in touch with you, how they can attend that event.
Cool. So, guys, March 14th and 15th, dropzonegunner.com. It's a mud run obstacle course, staged firearms throughout. It's a ton of fun. $99 to run it, includes everything you need, ammo, all that. $20 to come out and watch. Doing a ton of raffles, ton of great prizes. Just go to dropzonegunner.com, get signed up. Got the tickets going right now. They're going pretty quick. Pick a day, come have a blast. Appreciate any kind of support I can get. And there ain't nothing else like that out there. So come have some fun.
Awesome. And maybe we'll get you on here one more time before you do the event. We'll be able to talk to folks about it. On my end, I want to suggest to the folks out there to go to hankstrange.com. That's the way to keep up with us, see all the different things going on. Obviously, we've got different platforms getting taken down and being suppressed and all that kind of stuff. So go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list. We're going to be giving away stuff through that email list coming up here. Matter of fact, everything we give away is going to go through that, but we've got some cool giveaways that we're lining up right now. Also, if you want to support what we're doing, as Derek from 50% Tactical said yesterday when he was on the podcast, if you guys just go to the Patreon and gave us like $1, that would help. So if you go to Patreon/HankStrange, that's where you can go to do that. We appreciate that very much. I'm going to drop the end. Everyone stay right where they are. Here's the ending of the show.
Hey, one more thing, Hank.
Okay, hold on. I'm not ending it yet. Hold on one second. Just make sure you guys out there subscribe, ring the bell to the channel to keep up with us. Okay, so Mike's got one more thing. What's your one more thing? Mike?
Yes, so if everyone please go to Instagram and look up at We Are Blazing, and let's try to get at least 50 people to follow them before tomorrow morning.
Okay.
At We Are Blazing.
We Are Blazing with a BLAZON?
Correct.
Okay, here. I'm going to look that up right now. I'll put that up on my phone. We Are BLAZON. I think that's what you were saying. Boom, I see it, an apparel thing. I'm going to follow them and go in there and show some love to their thing that they have going on there. So there you go. I want to thank Walther Firearms for sponsoring the show, of course. I want to thank these fine gentlemen for coming on the show. Mike from MW Tactical, of course, Jeremy from what is it again? Dropzone Gunner.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Things like this are great, and I had a great time, man. I'm appreciative. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks a lot. We appreciated it as well. We will see you guys tomorrow. We are out of here for right now. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you. We appreciate your support. We're out of here. Peace.